Welcome to Vietnam, the hidden gem of Southeast Asia where ancient traditions meet breathtaking landscapes. I'm your guide on this unforgettable journey through a country shaped by fascinating history, mouthwatering cuisine, and the warmest smiles you'll ever encounter. From the misty mountains of the north to the lush Mekong Delta in the south, Vietnam offers an incredible tapestry of experiences. Did you know that Vietnam is home to 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites? Or that Vietnamese coffee culture rivals Italy's with its unique egg coffee and robust brews? Join me as we explore 20 must-visit destinations that showcase why Vietnam should be at the top of your travel bucket list. Hanoi, Vietnam's charming capital that's been the cultural heartbeat of the country for over 1,000 years. As we stroll through the old quarter, check out these narrow streets named after the trades once practiced here: Silk Street, Silver Street, even Coffin Street. The organized chaos is part of the charm. Motorbikes zip past as street vendors serve steaming bowls of pho on tiny plastic stools. Don't miss Hon Kim Lake, where locals practice Tai Chi at sunrise and legends tell of a magic turtle and a sacred sword. The Temple of Literature nearby? That's Vietnam's first university, built in 1070. The food scene here is incredible. Try bun cha, the dish that even won over Anthony Bourdain and Barack Obama when they dined together at a local joint. The weather shifts dramatically with 4 distinct seasons, so you might catch cherry blossoms in spring or golden leaves in fall. When evening hits, grab a fresh beer at Bia Hoi Corner for less than $1 and watch Hanoi transform into a neon-lit wonderland. What we're looking at right now is Ha Long Bay, and let me tell you, those postcards you've seen? They don't do this place justice. These 1,600-plus limestone islands erupting from emerald waters look like they belong in a fantasy movie. The name literally means descending dragon, and legend has it that dragons sent by the gods spat jewels into the sea to create this natural barrier against invaders. Pretty cool origin story, right? Jump on board our traditional junk boat as we weave between these karst formations that have been shaped over 20 million years. Look closely at those caves. Sung Sot Cave is so massive you could fit an entire neighborhood inside. The floating fishing villages are a trip. Entire communities living their lives completely on water, with floating schools, markets, and houses all bobbing with the tides. Keep your eyes peeled for the rare Cat Ba Langur, monkeys that call these islands home. There are only about 60 left in the wild. Hoi An might just be Vietnam's most photogenic city. This former trading port is like stepping into a living museum where time froze somewhere in the 15th century. Those yellow buildings with weathered walls you see everywhere? That's the signature. Hoi An look especially magical when illuminated by thousands of silk lanterns after sunset. Every full moon, the entire ancient town turns off electricity and runs purely on lantern light. Talk about romantic. This place was a melting pot of cultures long before that was trendy. You'll spot Chinese temples next to Japanese merchant houses and European colonial buildings. The covered Japanese bridge with a temple attached? That's been connecting communities since 1719. Hoi An is famous for its tailors who can whip up custom clothing in just 24 hours, from suits to traditional Ao Dai dresses. The food scene here is insanely good. Don't leave without trying Cao Lao, noodles made with water from the ancient Ba Le well and only found here. Ho Chi Minh City, or Saigon as the locals still call it, Vietnam's high-energy economic powerhouse that never sleeps. This city is all about contrast. Check out those ultra-modern skyscrapers towering next to French colonial buildings and ancient temples. The traffic is legendary. About 8 million motorbikes buzz around these streets in a beautiful chaos that somehow works. Crossing the road here is an adventure in itself. Just walk steadily, and the sea of motorbikes will flow around you, like magic. The War Remnants Museum and Cu Chi tunnels offer powerful glimpses into Vietnam's complex history, while Ben Thun Market is sensory overload in the best way possible. Did you know HCMC has an incredible coffee culture? The city is dotted with hip cafes where you can try egg coffee or the famous Vietnamese iced coffee with condensed milk. For the best views, head up to one of the rooftop bars in District 1. I recommend the Bitexco Tower for sunset cocktails with a panoramic vista. Sa Pa is where we're literally in the clouds at 1,600 meters above sea level. This former French hill station sits in Vietnam's remote northwest, surrounded by the Hoang Linh Son Mountains, including Phan Xipang, the roof of Indochina, at 3,003 meters. The real stars here are these mind-blowing rice terraces carved into the mountainsides over centuries. They change colors with the seasons, from vibrant green in summer to golden yellow at harvest time, and reflective mirrors when filled with water in spring. This region is home to several ethnic minority groups, mainly Hmong, Dao, Thai, and Gia people, each with their own distinct language, clothing, and traditions. The local women, with their indigo-dyed attire and incredible silver jewelry, will likely invite you to their villages. Totally worth the trek. The morning fog rolling through these valleys creates an otherworldly atmosphere like you're walking in the clouds. Weather here can change in minutes. Sunshine, then mist, then rain, then sunshine again. Ninh Binh is often called Halong Bay on land, but trust me, this place has its own unique magic. Just a couple hours from Hanoi, this landscape will blow your mind with limestone karsts shooting up from emerald rice paddies instead of water. Tam Kok is where we'll hop on traditional sampan boats, rowed by locals using their feet, yes, their feet, as we drift through cave tunnels and past farmers working in fields that seem to float on water. The backdrop for blockbuster movies like Kong Skull Island, this area somehow remains off many tourists' radar. Nearby, Trang An offers a similar boat experience but with even more caves to explore, some so low you'll need to duck as we glide through. The ancient capital of Hoa Lu gives us a glimpse into Vietnam's 10th century royal history, while Bai Dinh Pagoda is the largest Buddhist complex in Vietnam with 500-plus perfectly carved stone statues. Hue is Vietnam's imperial city that served as the national capital from 1802 to 1945 under the Nguyen dynasty. As we cross the Perfume River on the iconic Truong Tien Bridge designed by Gustave Eiffel, yes, that Eiffel, you can feel the regal atmosphere that still permeates this UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Imperial Citadel is basically Vietnam's Forbidden City, a massive complex of palaces, temples, and courtyards where emperors once ruled. Though heavily damaged during the Vietnam War, restoration efforts have brought back much of its former glory. Hue is famous for its royal tombs scattered around the countryside. Each emperor designed his final resting place during his lifetime, resulting in incredibly unique mausoleums. My favorite is Khai Dinh's tomb, which bizarrely mixes Vietnamese and European Gothic elements. Did you know Hue cuisine was developed to please the emperors? The food here is considered the most sophisticated in Vietnam, with over 1,300 specialty dishes. Da Nang is Vietnam's fastest-growing city that perfectly balances urban cool with natural beauty. This coastal metropolis is sandwiched between the pristine white sands of Mai Kea Beach, once named by Forbes as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, and the lush marble mountains full of hidden caves and Buddhist sanctuaries. The symbol of modern Da Nang is undoubtedly the Dragon Bridge, which actually breathes fire and shoots water on weekend nights, not something you see every day. Just outside the city, the Ba Na Hills Resort gives us the Instagram-famous Golden Bridge, where giant stone hands appear to hold up the walkway among the clouds. The food scene here is off the charts good. Da Nang specializes in seafood and unique takes on Vietnamese classics like Ban Xuo, crispy pancakes, and mi quang noodles served with just a splash of broth. History buffs will appreciate the Museum of Cham Sculpture, housing the world's largest collection of Cham artifacts. Haiphong is Vietnam's major northern port city that most tourists completely overlook. Their loss, our gain. As Vietnam's third-largest city, Haiphong blends industrial grit with surprising colonial charm. Check out these wide, tree-leaned boulevards and French architectural gems like the Opera House and Du Hang Pagoda. The city's nickname is City of Red Phoenix Flowers because of the gorgeous flamboyant trees that bloom bright red throughout summer. Haiphong serves as the gateway to Cat Ba Island, the largest island in Halong Bay, where we can escape the crowds and explore pristine beaches, national parks, and floating fishing villages at a more relaxed pace. The city's heart is definitely Tam Bac Lake, where locals gather for morning exercise, evening strolls, and weekend festivities. Foodies, you're in for a treat. Haiphong is famous for ban da qua, a unique crab noodle soup with a rich tomato broth that you won't find quite the same anywhere else in Vietnam. Lao Cai is the rugged frontier province that shares a border with China's Yunnan province. This place is the gateway to northern Vietnam's most spectacular scenery and cultural experiences. The provincial capital, also called Lao Cai, sits right on the Red River across from the Chinese city of Hekou. You can literally wave to China from here. Most travelers use this as a jumping-off point for Sapa, but the city itself has plenty to offer with its bustling border trade, colorful markets, and multicultural vibe. The Suc Lo Night Market is where you'll find everything from Hmong handicrafts to Chinese electronics and Vietnamese street food, a true cultural melting pot. The province is home to more than 20 ethnic minority groups, each with distinct traditions, languages, and colorful clothing. Look for the unique silver jewelry of the Hmong and the incredible indigo textiles of the Dao people. Vung Tau is the seaside escape that Saigonese flock to when they need a break from the city heat. Just a 2-hour drive from Ho Chi Minh City, this coastal city sits on a peninsula surrounded by beautiful beaches on 3 sides. Back in colonial days, the French called this place Cap Saint-Jacques and built lovely villas that still dot the hillsides. The city's most iconic landmark is undoubtedly the giant Christ the King statue that stands 32 meters tall on Small Mountain. Climb the 811 steps inside for jaw-dropping panoramic views of the entire coastline. Speaking of mountains, Big Mountain offers the city's lighthouse and an old French artillery gun platform with equally stunning vistas. Front Beach, by THUOT, is where the action happens with restaurants and nightlife, while Back Beach, by Sao, offers more relaxed vibes with cleaner swimming waters and water sports. For something quirky, check out the Whale Temple where fishermen worship the remains of whales that washed ashore. Dong Hoi is the gateway to some of Vietnam's most spectacular natural wonders that somehow still flies under most tourists' radar. This coastal city in central Vietnam sits along the pristine Nhat La River as it meets the South China Sea, offering some seriously beautiful beaches without the crowds you'll find elsewhere. Dong Hoi was almost completely destroyed during the Vietnam War, so most buildings are relatively new, but that gives the city a clean, accessible feel with wide boulevards and a lovely riverside promenade. The main draw here is definitely the nearby Phong Ha Khe Bang National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site home to the oldest karst mountains in Asia and some of the world's most spectacular caves, including Son Dung, the world's largest cave. So massive it has its own ecosystem with unique weather patterns and jungle inside. For easier cave experiences, we can explore Paradise Cave with its otherworldly formations, or take a boat through Phong Ha Cave's underground river. Buon Ma Thuot is the coffee capital of Vietnam, nestled in the Central Highlands. This vibrant city might not be on most tourist itineraries, but coffee lovers, this is your mecca. Vietnam is the world's second-largest coffee producer after Brazil, and most of that magic happens right here in the red basalt soil of the surrounding Dak Lak province. The coffee culture is real. Locals joke that their blood is part caffeine, and after trying the incredibly strong Robusta grown here, you might feel the same. Every March, the city hosts a coffee festival where you can sample endless varieties and watch baristas compete for brewing supremacy. Beyond coffee, this region is home to numerous ethnic minority groups, primarily the Ede people, whose traditional longhouses and fascinating matriarchal society offer a cultural experience totally different from Vietnam's lowlands. Don't miss the Ethnographic Museum to learn about these diverse highland cultures. Long XUYEN is one of the Mekong Delta's most authentic cities that tourists rarely explore. As the capital of An Giang Province, this vibrant riverside city offers a perfect glimpse into everyday Mekong life without the tourist infrastructure of more famous Delta destinations. The city stretches along the Hao River, a branch of the mighty Mekong, and is crisscrossed by countless canals that serve as streets, with boats being as common as motorbikes in some neighborhoods. Long XUYEN's floating market might be smaller than the famous ones in Can Tho, but that means it's genuinely local. Arrive at sunrise to see sampan boats piled high with tropical fruits, vegetables, and fish all being traded in the traditional Delta way. The city is home to a significant Khmer and Cham minority population, creating a fascinating cultural mix reflected in the architecture and cuisine. Don't miss visiting the Long XUYEN Crocodile Farm, one of Vietnam's largest with over 10,000 crocs. Vinh Long is the beautiful dragon of the Mekong Delta that sits at the heart of this incredible wetland ecosystem. Located right between the Dien and Hao rivers, the two main branches of the Mekong, this province is essentially one giant island, crisscrossed by countless waterways that serve as the main transportation system. The provincial capital, also called Vinh Long, offers a perfect base to explore some of the Delta's most authentic experiences without the crowds you'll find elsewhere. Just a short boat ride away, the islands of An Binh and Bin Hoa Phuoc are, like stepping back in time, narrow concrete pathways weave between fruit orchards where you can sample tropical treasures straight from the tree. Rambutan, mangosteen, durian, star apple, the variety is mind-boggling. These islands are also famous for their homestays, where local families welcome you into traditional wooden houses built on stilts over the water. Sa Dec is the garden city of the Mekong Delta that blooms with color and romance. Literary fans might recognize this charming riverside town as the setting for Marguerite Duras' famous novel, The Lover, based on her own teenage romance here, in the 1930s. We can visit the ancient Chinese-style house of her lover, Huang Tui Lei, still standing with its unique blend of European and Asian architecture. But what Sa Dec is really famous for are its flower villages. Tan Quy Dong Flower Village is Vietnam's largest flower producer, where hundreds of hectares explode with every imaginable color as families cultivate flowers that supply the entire southern region, especially during Tet, Lunar New Year, when every Vietnamese home displays fresh blooms. Wandering through these flower fields feels like stepping into a living painting. The town's riverside market is a feast for the senses, with vendors selling everything from exotic fruits to live fish, all with that distinctive Mekong Delta friendliness. Mong Sai is Vietnam's northeastern frontier city sitting right on the Chinese border. This fascinating border town is where two worlds collide. Vietnamese and Chinese cultures blend together, creating a unique atmosphere you won't find anywhere else in the country. The Mong Sai International Border Gate processes thousands of people daily, creating a bustling energy as traders from both countries exchange goods. The Ca Long River forms the natural border between Vietnam and China. Stand on the riverbank and you can look across to Dongxing, China, so close you could almost touch it. The city's Tran Pu Street transforms into an incredible night market where you can find everything from Chinese electronics to Vietnamese handicrafts, with food stalls serving specialties from both countries. Despite being a major trade hub, Mong Khai is surrounded by stunning natural beauty. Tra Co Beach stretches for 17 kilometers with pristine white sand and crystal clear waters, yet remains surprisingly uncrowded. Tuy Hoa is one of central Vietnam's best-kept secrets that somehow remains off most tourist radars. As the capital of XUYEN province, this coastal city offers some of Vietnam's most stunning shorelines without the development or crowds found, in places like Nha Trang or Da Nang. The star attraction is definitely Bai Zep Beach, where crystal-clear turquoise waters meet golden sand against a backdrop of dramatic rocky outcrops. It's no wonder this beach starred in the hit Vietnamese movie Yellow Flowers on the Green Grass. Nearby, the crescent-shaped Dai Lan Beach offers perfect swimming conditions protected by headlands on both sides. For panoramic views that'll blow your mind, we'll hike up Nan Mountain to see the entire coastline stretching for miles in both directions. The giant seated Buddha statue at the summit makes for an even more memorable experience. Tuy Hoa is bordered by the magnificent Da Dia Reef, a geological wonder where thousands of hexagonal basalt columns stack together. Dien Bien Phu is the site of one of the most decisive battles of the 20th century that changed the course of Vietnam's history. Nestled in a valley surrounded by jungle-covered mountains near the Laotian border, this remote city witnessed the epic 1954 battle where Vietnamese forces defeated the French colonial army, effectively ending French colonialism in Indochina. Today, the entire area serves as an open-air museum where you can visit Hill A1, Elian 2, the site of the fiercest fighting, and explore restored French bunkers and trenches that tell the story of this incredible military upset. The Dien Bien Phu Victory Museum houses fascinating artifacts, dioramas, and even the original command bunker used by General Vo Nguyen Giap, the mastermind behind the victory. Beyond its historical significance, the city is surrounded by breathtaking landscapes and is home to various ethnic minority groups, primarily Thai and Hmong people. The local markets burst with color as villagers from remote mountain communities come to trade goods. Hoa Binh is the Peace Province that serves as the gateway to Vietnam's northwestern highlands. Just a short drive from Hanoi, this province feels worlds away from the capital's hustle and bustle as we enter the realm of limestone mountains, lush valleys, and the homeland of the Mong ethnic people. The city of Hoa Binh sits along the Da River, dramatically transformed by the massive Hoa Binh hydroelectric dam, Vietnam's largest power plant that created a stunning lake stretching over 230 square kilometers. For the best views, we'll take a boat cruise on Hoa Binh Lake, weaving between karst formations rising from the emerald waters like miniature islands. Outdoor enthusiasts will love exploring nearby Mai Chau Valley with its picturesque stilt houses surrounded by rice paddies and mountains, the perfect place for trekking, cycling, and authentic homestays with the white Thai minority people. The MONG Cultural Space Museum offers fascinating insights into the traditions of Vietnam's indigenous Muong people. As our journey through Vietnam's most incredible destinations comes to an end, I hope you've fallen in love with this extraordinary country's diverse landscapes and rich cultural tapestry. From the mist-shrouded mountains of the north to the lush waterways of the Mekong Delta, Vietnam offers experiences that will stay with you long after you've returned home. Whether you're sampling street food in bustling city markets, cycling through peaceful rice paddies, or cruising among limestone karsts, Vietnam rewards travelers with authentic encounters and breathtaking beauty at every turn. The warmth of Vietnamese hospitality and the resilient spirit of its people make this country not just a place to visit, but a place to connect with.